Hi, Brandon. My name's Aaron. I am also transgendered. I'm replying in response for Rita. Um, Now, I wasn't able to go through my transition due to medical issues, so I had to revert back. I was male to female. Now, that's a lot harder to deal with, for one. Second of all, if you did not realize, Rita is also transgendered. Now, it's not right to go calling anybody a retard or an asshole. I wouldn't even think about doing so. Uh, Now, I'm not entirely sure everything she said in the video, but I do know where she stands on transgendered issues, so I'll pretty much cover them all. Um, she does not like when a transgendered person gets a surgery and all of a sudden they have to go and say, "Oh, I got this." Yeah, wonderful. You know, I understand the excitement. She understands the excitement. If somebody posts something that says, "I'm getting my surgery, I can't wait," that's cool. No complaint. But when it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks and they start to think that they're better than others, which does happen, trust me, it does. Pay attention. And I am not retarded. And I'm also part of the community. So, second of all, um, there are oftentimes male to female, female to male, that when they get their surgery, they want nothing more to do with the community. They don't want anyone to know their past life. They want to be as, you know, this is something that Rita and me both are against too. There are many transgendered people out there who want a heterosexual guy or a heterosexual woman and they don't want them to know their past. And when they do find out their past, there's usually major repercussions. And we're against that because we think honesty is key. You cannot get rid of part of your past just because you went and had a surgery. Inside, you were always genetic. And outside, heck, something went wrong. I mean, a person who has, who was born without an arm and gets a prosthetic isn't going to go say, "Ooh, I chopped it off with an axe," or, fell out of a tree using a chainsaw. Or they're not going to try to sit there and say that they never had a prosthetic arm, even though most people could probably tell. Um, you know, Someone born with, any type of birth defect, which this is essentially a birth defect, can't just toss away the fact that they were born with it. Okay? Uh, and the trans community does toss that away. Oh, and the trans community not liking to be called trannies. Actually, that is a technical term. Trannies is about as key as transgendered is, even though the one is slang. Hey, you should be happy that words such as she male, he she, shim weren't used. Okay? Those are derogatory. Tranny is not really. Okay? I don't mind being called a tranny, even though I wouldn't be called that anymore. I mean, even the transgender community says you weren't really transgendered if you can't go through it. Uh, yeah, I like my life. I like art. I like painting. I like poetry. I like reading. I like to expand my knowledge. And, if I'm going to die from something, I'm going to choose not to if I can choose either or. Okay? I was having cramps in my legs. I was having heart problems. I quit my hormones, and that all went away. I had no more leg pains, no more heart problems. I haven't gone to the hospital in almost a year, where I was going almost every other week. Okay? So, um, now this is at 4 minutes, so, um, you can understand, or should understand, that there are transgender people in the community that give transgender people a bad name. And those transgendered people are the ones that Rita is upset about. The ones who get transgender people killed are the ones she's complaining about. And you're complaining about her complaining about the ones who actually make the community look bad. Uh, I kind of think that you should actually probably be more in line with her. I mean, if you want to have less murders in the transgender community, honesty is a major thing. I mean, how many guys want to find out that they just had sex with somebody who used to be a man? Especially when they're heterosexual. Most heterosexual men and heterosexual women, for the most part, do not like to have sex with the same gender. And due to the fact that they're heterosexual and they were not looking for somebody who used to be the opposite and changed or whatever, or the same and changed, to most guys it would be like, well, I just had sex with another man. I've been rubbing penis with him. And that is just as gay to them as, you know, being gay. And they can't handle that. Okay? And so, some of these people out there, they sit there and they say, well, sometimes I can't tell the difference between one or the other. And because there's no honesty out there, it scares them sometimes. Okay? You have to understand why there's these taboos around the transgender community. It, People don't go and kill just to kill. They kill for a reason, usually, unless they're completely insane. But the reason transgender community people usually get murdered is because they were not honest. Um, and that's the big key thing. They're not honest people. And I'm sorry. Being part of the community, I've been to groups with hundreds of them who say, well, once I get my surgeries, no one's going to ever be able to tell, and I'm going to have a heterosexual man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keep dreaming. And if you do, they're going to find out somehow, somewhere. Maybe a picture that you forgot to destroy, or, they're going to want to meet your parents, and maybe your mom or dad will call and say, where's our son? Or where's our daughter? And things are going to kind of go strange at that point. So, that brings me to, I guess, the final complaint, if I can remember what it is. I apologize that I'm not on key as usual, because I do have a migraine at the moment, and, I get chronic migraines as part of my disabilities. But the other problem with the transgender community is essentially the fact that there's some of these wealthy transgendered people who kind of just sit there and say that, we need to help the rest, the poor ones, but they're not willing to themselves. Oh, and that reminds me, you were saying that, we don't rub it in people's faces. Go to some forum where someone's had their surgery and watch them say, well, I got my breast implants. Or, I've got my mastectomy already. Or any other thing. They will say, look, I got this done. And, well, I'm better now because I got it done. But we were friends beforehand. Well, I don't have time for you anymore. I'm complete. I'm sorry that does happen. Just, I don't have to put myself in your shoes. I've been in your shoes. I'm still in your shoes, except for now I've got to live unhappily the way that I am now because I can't go through the surgery. Put yourself in my shoes. And you should understand that being in my shoes, it's not a matter of jealousy. It's a matter of, it really drives me nuts when somebody says they're better when they're not. No one's better. And no matter what amount of surgeries a person has, they never change who they were when they were born inside. The soul is all that matters. Anyways, this hit 10 minutes.